gonna go ahead and mute everyone. And while my technology is catching up, for those of you that are here for the first time, just a quick reminder what we're doing here. So 15 minutes of positivity. The idea is to take a few minutes each day to activate these parts of our nervous system that help us feel the subjective experience of positivity. And there's so many different ways into experiencing positivity. So we try to change it up every day. And today I'll focus on attention training. So it's Attention Training Tuesday, and but just know that it changes. It changes every day. It's not the same thing. And yeah, let's see how this goes. So yesterday I talked about this idea of being sitting in front of a TV or being in a movie theater and noticing that there's this strong reaction to whatever's showing up on the screen obviously really affects us emotionally. And that's the whole point of watching movies, right? We want to watch a romantic comedy because we want to feel a certain way, or we want to watch a horror movie because we maybe, in my case, unexpectedly didn't realize that I did not want to feel that way. But the point is, that's the gist of why movies exist. We love that stuff. So the real question is, why are we experiencing what we're experiencing, and what is it that we are actually bearing witness to? And the point that I'm going to try to make today is our subjective, our mind and our brain and our nervous system play a much, much bigger role in the subjective experience that we're having than I think we oftentimes realize. So you're driving down the road, you see the trees, you see the road, you see the sign. This is the subjective experience of what is happening while we're driving. When in reality, biologically speaking, and I'll explain this in a second, this is what's actually happening in terms of our eyes and our brain, our optic nerve, and the sensory experience, right? So there's a big difference between this picture, this clear overall vision of like, I see where everything is, versus what's actually happening physically and biologically. The reason for this is this, not to get too scientific about it here, but the idea is like our eyeballs are set up in such a way that there's an optic nerve at the end. Wherever the optic nerve meets the eyeball, there's a kind of blind spot. Like there's some things that we just literally physically can't see. So the brain and the eyes adapt by having the eyes constantly moving about. Eyes are constantly, they're never just fixated on one point. They're always moving about, taking in data. And then what happens is the brain fills in the blind spots. So even though we physically and biologically can't see certain things, the fact that the eyes are dancing around is collecting a whole bunch of data, and then it fills it into a cohesive narrative that our brain can make sense of, right? So we just going back to this is what we're actually seeing in any given moment, but the subjective experience is much clearer. So the reason I think it's relevant for what we're talking about today is our brain is doing this all the time. So when we're speaking with someone, we're feeling anxious, or when we're in a situation that has us feeling hopeless or sad, most of the time it has nothing to do with the actual experience that we're taking in that moment. It has everything to do with what the brain has been conditioned to interpret these types of situations. So our ability to harness, well, first and foremost, to know that this is the biology of what's happening. But then secondly, the ability to practice being able to focus our attention on, things that we choose makes all the difference in our subjective experience. So I thought today, let's practice some attention training. I'll try to guide you through um, a short meditation to help illustrate that point. So let's start by closing our eyes. My first step in all of these practices is to just become present. So, what's it like to be right here, right now, Yes, our eyes are closed, but that doesn't mean we don't see anymore. There's still colors and shapes in our visual field. We can still hear and smell. We can sense our skin and all the sensory experiences there. And bringing attention to what's called interoception. So the noticing what's happening inside of the body. So what's it like to notice the body breathing? Notice the belly, the chest, shoulders, throat and jaw, nostrils. Just keeping attention on the sensation of inhabiting this body as it's breathing. And then see if you can shift the attentional gaze to what I would call mood. Like, what mood are you experiencing right now? What's the affect? Is it calm? Is it speedy? Nervous? So again, we can begin to notice mood and affect when we shift our attention to paying attention to what might be going on there. We've all had a morning. Things have happened this morning that we can't undo. And they no doubt leave an imprint. So if your morning was wonderful and easy, you might be feeling sort of supple and relaxed. So it was kind of frenetic, fast pace. You might still be feeling an afterglow of some residual anxious energy. The goal right now is just to notice what is, and then to notice the space between what's actually happening right now, what the mind is still holding on to about this morning. So what the mind does is it fills in the blanks and it wants to create a story, wants to create a neat, tidy package and to help us understand. I'm just noting how that part of it is very different than the part that's experiencing the simplicity of just sitting here and breathing right now. Either one is better or righter than the other. It's really just about noticing and being aware the difference between what we're experiencing in this moment, what the brain is remembering or filling in. This is what the brain is designed to do. It's designed to make sense of experiences, and it does so by creating stories. And certain stories are reinforced over and over again. It's not a bad thing, but it is important to know the ability to know when that's happening so we can contrast that with what's happening in this moment, which is we're just sitting and breathing, and just being still. Really simple. It's surprisingly difficult. The goal is just to, whatever moments we can find when we have this clarity about the difference, just drop into it. And when we lose it, it's okay. Just come back to sitting, noticing. The more we do this, the easier it becomes. A deep breath in, long, slow exhale through the mouth, just relaxing the jaw, the shoulders, and hold the exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Another deep inhale through the nose, long exhale through the mouth, relaxing the hands, the belly, the shoulders, letting go. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead, open your eyes. And notice as soon as you open your eyes, there's a whole new flurry of activity that is very attention grabbing. So the brain likes to pay attention to novelty and new things. And so again, it's neither good nor bad. It's simply a question of cultivating our ability to notice when that's actually happening, because it allows us to some extent stay in the driver's seat and figure out what to do with the information that's coming in. So I hope that wasn't too far out there again today. But yeah, hope to see you tomorrow. Thanks everyone. I'll stick around if anyone wants to touch base. Bye.